With education, students of the University of Ghana are calling on the university authorities to step up their surveillance and intervention measures to deal with any threat of Ebola. A number of them who have been reacting to a directive by the authorities to fill online risk assessment forms say the forms alone are not enough to check the spread of the deadly Ebola virus to the university.
The University of Ghana had earlier stated it will not allow students to refuse to fill an e-risk assessment form into its halls of residence. The online form is meant to collect data on the Ebola epidemic from students and staff for surveillance purposes and formed part of a number of contingency measures the university had put in place. Among other things, the form asks of information including where one comes from or traveled over the holidays, if one had experienced symptoms or had been close to anyone who experienced the disease. Students who had earlier filled the form said they had to do it because it was a requirement by their halls.
Okay, when you print it out, you add your proof of registration and your receipts to it, and you take it to the hall tutor. Then your room will be given to you. It was an instruction from our hall.
I went online to fill an e-risk assessment form that is purposely for checking the Ebola status of me, and it wasn't really needed at my hall. But I know for the traditional halls, it was something that was a necessity. You must fill it and print it out before it is given out to you.
If you've not filled the form, you can't have your room. So it's attached to the normal registration. So you go, they check, they stamp, then your other receipts, then you get your room. I don't think it's that effective because the day of registration, some people came as early as 4 a.m. just to only come and meet a queue. Then you tell them they've waited for 5 hours or 6 hours, and you tell them they have to fill a form before they get their rooms. You know, people are in a rush, so they just go to the cafe, and I don't think some of them even look at the questions. They just tick, give out any information and their number, and then they are out. So I don't think it really portrays a true, meaning to what they are looking for. But all the same, we have to feel it. So.
But students who do not belong to any of the traditional halls say they didn't have to go through the process.
I haven't done my online registration, but it doesn't look like there's anything about Ebola. I saw someone's form which said something about some hotlines to call when you have an Ebola alert, but that's all. I haven't filled any form yet.
Residential registration, it was quite messy because I heard of this Ebola form. I did not have it, but I went to the hall anyway, and thankfully it wasn't demanded in my hall. So I went on with the hall registration, even though there was a long queue and all that. Like, my hall did not demand the Ebola form to be able to enable me enter the hall.
Several of these students have had their doubts if indeed the university authorities are prepared to contain a possible outbreak, since they would have to share lecture halls and other facilities with students who will not necessarily have to go through the online screening. They called for more intensified measures from the university authorities and government. Matilda Hamaga for Joy News, Accra.